Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar on style guides and its relevance in GenAI for content creation. This is Sheba and I'll be your co-host for tonight. So it's my pleasure to introduce Pavitra Rajendran, Senior Data Scientist at Kowai.co. So today she'll be sharing strategies for using style guides to produce consistently branded content and how to effectively leverage the latest GenAI tools to check content for style guide compliance. If you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to drop them in the Q&A box and we'll make sure to address them towards the end of the session. With that, I'll hand it over to Pavitra. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Shiba. So, hi everyone, and thanks again for joining today's webinar. So, I'm really happy to be here and excited to talk about something that's becoming super important, especially with the rise of GenAI content creation. So, let me quickly walk you through what we'll cover today. So, yeah, this is the overview. So, here is a quick look at today's agenda. So, let's say first we'll start with a simple introduction to Style Guide on what they are. Then we'll see how teams use style guides in real content creation, and finally how style guides play a big role in making GenAI outputs. And also, like, it should be like more reliable and also consistent, right? So we'll just have a check on that. And so that's what we'll be covering today. So let me quickly get into the session. Yeah. So now let's start with a common problem with that many teams face. Even before AI comes into the picture, keeping writing consistent is really hard for most of us, right? So even in well-organized teams, writing can look and feel very different depending on who creates it. And here are some of the main reasons why. So the foremost, like let's say we have like different teams of technical writers. When multiple writers work on the same product, they each bring their own writing style and also the voice and also the habits, right? So this can actually lead to inconsistency, even if the content is technically correct, but there might be some kind of inconsistency happening. But when talking about this inconsistency, it actually happens mostly in the business terms, right? So writers may use different words for the same thing. For example, some may say workspace while the other might say it as a project. So it confuses both the readers and also the AI models. And the last one is a different content structure. So some articles might be a detailed tutorials and some might write it as an FAQs or others might write it as a quick notes. But without a shared format, the content becomes uneven. And that is also a problem when we are scaling. So these small inconsistency may not seem like a big deal at first, but when you're managing a lot of content or using AI tools, they add up fast, which leads to not having a voice to your brand. And that's exactly where a style guide comes in, and they help bring everyone on the same page. So what exactly is a style guide? So let's think a style guide is basically a kind of a set of rules that actually helps us making writing consistent across all the content. It also tells the writers and even the AI how to write. So it covers actually several things. So let's say the first one is a standard for writing. So it defines how we write. It actually sets the tone, what kind of tone we use, and what writing style fits the product or even the organization. So, for example, let's say, should the content be more casual or it should be more formal? Or do we use an active voice or the passive voice? So, all these things can be given in a style guide, and that can be followed by the writers and even with the AI. And it also defines the formatting rules, right? So let's say how to use headings or when to make the text bold. So let's say I have a word called style guide in most of my articles, and whenever I need that text to be given, so it should be bold. So even that can be specified, and how to write the dates and even things like bullet points or punctuation. So everything can be like specified regarding the formatting in your style guide. And it also gives the content a structure. So every article or a doc should look alike from start to finish. So for example, let's take an how-to article. So for example, in a how-to might start with an introduction, and maybe it should follow with a clear step-by-step instruction, and also it should end with the links or FAQ. So this is the structure. Let's say this is the structure. But when we give this on the style guide, it also like follows the structure as well. So having a common structure also helps user find what they need quickly because they know the structure of that particular article. So why does a style guide actually matters? So let's say we don't have a style guide. Everyone writes in their own way, so which can confuse users and make it hard to maintain or also scale the content, right? So but when a style guide is followed, the output is like actually like clear. It can be like clear, unified, and also to easy to trust as well. So whether it's written by the human or generated by the model, it will be like clear and unified, right? So in short, a style guide helps both the humans and GenAI to stay on the same page. Okay, let's see what can be covered in the style guide. So yeah, I'll move to the next slide. Yeah. So let's now look at some of the things that go inside a style guide, right? So we'll start with the basics like grammar, abbreviations, and the glossary. So when it comes to the grammar preferences, it may seem straightforward, but grammar choices can vary widely, especially across regions. For example, should we follow US English or the UK English? So these decisions are documented in the style guide to keep everything consistent, no matter who's writing, right? So let's say even if I write an article for the product or even a blog for the product, it must follow this particular grammar preferences. And when it comes to the abbreviation, should we write okay, let's say abbreviation for API. So should it be in uppercase or should we have the abbreviations in a different format? Even that can be specified. So these little things can really clutter content when they are in standardized. So it can be mentioned in the style guide, and that will be followed as well. So the last one will be the glossary. So this section defines the preferred vocabulary, like especially for the brand or a product specific terms, right? For example, as previously mentioned, one might even call it as a workspace or even a project, or let's say people call it as a user, or some people can call it as a customer. But we have to like list them down in the glossaries, so that can even be followed in the style guide. And it also includes terms we want to avoid, so to prevent confusions or inconsistency, we can also like mention that in the style guide, which will also be like followed for the consistency. So these are the basic things. So let's see what are the other things which can be covered in the style guide. Yep. So now that's we have seen the basic like grammar. So let's zoom out a bit. So because in reality, a style guide can go much further than just a basic elements. So it can set the voice, and it can usage of symbols. You can also like specify what kind of symbol should be used, and the word limit of an article. Let's say whether you need an article to be within 500 words or 1000 words, or even you can limit in the paragraph level as well. And also it can handle the tables, how your tables headers or rows or columns should look like. So when specified in the style guide, it will also be incorporated. And yeah, so let's say style guide is not just a grammar rule book, it's a playbook for content creation. So it ensures that whether your content is written by a person or AI, it still feels like it's coming from the same voice with the same clarity and also the same structure. Yeah. So once we get the style guide ready, so let's see how it's a practical. So let's say one of the most practical benefit of a style guide is during onboarding, right? So when a new technical writer joins the team, they need a way to understand how your company writes. So a style guide becomes their references. It speeds up a knowledge transfer. It supports the writing practice and reinforces the terminology through the glossary as well. And guess what? It's not only for the humans. The same guide can be used to fine-tune GenAI models as well. So the output matches your team style right from the start. So let's see a few of the standard style guides used. Yep. So these are the two of the widely followed industry style guides. That's the Google style guide and the Microsoft style guide. So Google has a very detailed Google developer style guide, which is used across their technical documentation. It focuses on things like clarity and using consistent terminology, especially when you're writing docs for developers. On the other hand, we have this Microsoft style guide, so which has guidelines for everything from UI, text to documentation and marketing content. So these two style guides are the most widely followed style guides. Maybe you can also have a check on these style guides. And there is one more interesting one, which is the Chicago Manual Style. So this is one of the well-known style guide. It's a comprehensive style guide used primarily in literature and also in professional writing. It is actually a detailed manual style guide. It's almost 1,000 plus pages. It's around 1,100 pages, I guess. So it actually have a detailed one. It covers several areas like citations and documentation. It also mentions like how the guidelines should be like cited, and also the author's date format. It also covers all the grammar and the usage, and it also actually includes the information of the editing and publishing process, like right from the proofreading marks and so on. So you can, when you have time, you can also like have a check on the style guide, so which is 1,000 plus pages. So yeah, so now we saw what is style guide, right? So now we saw about what is style guide and why we need a style guide and things which can be included in the style guide. As you can see, the style guide can be incredibly thorough, covering everything from grammar to formatting and structure. But so what about, but this here is a thing. Yeah, let me go to the next slide. Yep. But here is the thing, having a detailed style guide is only half the battle. The real challenge is getting everyone to actually follow it. Because when you have multiple writers, often across teams, locations, or even tools, enforcing consistency becomes a lot harder. So enforcing style guide is hard with many technical writers. So different writers actually interpret the rules differently. Some might overlook small formatting choices, other might just default to their personal style. And this is where the things start to break down, because even small inconsistency can create big friction when you're trying to scale content, right? So what do we do there? So, and yeah, before getting into that, let's talk about something that many teams struggle with. That's the compliance at scale. As team grow and as new products are launched, your style guide also keeps growing. So it starts with just a few rules, but slowly more and more guidelines also gets added. For even you can have multiple style guides for the different products as well, and that leads actually to two main challenges, right? First, it becomes harder to keep up. So writers don't always have time to go through long documents just to check if something is allowed or not. And second, it's just too much to remember, right? As people, yeah, we do forget things, and it's too much to remember. So even experienced writers might forget small things like formatting or word preferences. So even though the style guide is helpful, following it across a large team becomes really tough. And yeah, so, and that is where automation can help. So imagine you have a style guide checker, something that actually looks at your content and check if it follows all the rules. So if you have like set of rules and you need someone to check that, right? So you have a style guide checker there. So it can do three things for you. So first, find non-compliant content, like parts of the writing that don't match the guide. And next, it can check the rules, so it can tell what is missing and what is not, right? And it can also give suggestions to the fixes, which is super useful because it points out issues and also helps you correct them. So instead of manually reviewing everything, you now have a smart tool that makes sure your content stays consistent. So let's see. Now let's talk about what happens when we bring GenAI into the mix. So with GenAI, you can take your style guide and actually embed into your writing process. So that means the AI can help you create the first draft content that already follows the style guide. It can also scan your existing content and find things that are not compliant. And it can also automatically, yeah, this one interesting thing is it can also like automatically apply your SEOs tags or by reducing your manual work. So let's say if you mention it in your style guide, you need an SEOs or tax, even that can be done, and it will also like reduce a manual work for the writers as well, right? So now it's not just about guidelines anymore. The system becomes a partner for you that helps create consistent content from the very first draft. And here's what really matters. GenAI can write content, right? So let's say OpenAI or even Claude. So if you have a prompt, if you just like go and put it there in the LLM, it can actually give you an article. But without guidance, it lacks consistency. That is the problem with the GenAI there. So with a well-structured style guide, your AI can just transform a general writer into a brand-aware or SEO conscious and also tone-consistent assistant. So this is especially powerful in documentation knowledge bases because where you need this uniformity and also the clarity, right? That is absolutely critical there. So with that, let me quickly show how a Document360's AI writing agent Eddie uses a style guide to draft your article. Yep. So there are like multiple ways to like create articles. Basically, we need the knowledge, right? So first, we need the knowledge to write an article. So there are multiple ways. So here in Document 360 AD, we allow three different ways. So let's say your team is trying to create a how-to article based on a meeting or a walkthrough video. So AD can generate that article for you. It can just like provide a step-by-step article for you. It can also like pull in the screenshots, a relevant screenshot for that particular steps. And excuse me, and it can also like apply your templates and most importantly following a style guide all in one go, right? So you just upload your video and within a minute it can just like provide you a step-by-step guide with screenshots as well, and it will also like follow your style guide. Yeah, and the next way is like you can write it's not just with the videos, you can also generate the article based on your prompt using your knowledge base and the web content, because we need some content, right? Some knowledge to write an article. So you can either select whether you need an information from internet or from your own knowledge base, so that can be like selected. And Eddie can pull in information from different sources, combine it and structure it using predefined templates. So all while ensuring the output matches your tone formatting as well, which will be given in the style guide. So all these things will be taken into account before writing an article. And the last one is the article from media transcript or audio. So even transcript or audio from calls or even this webinar, so we can just like Eddie can turn that into a blog post or a release note or internal docs with everything laid out correctly. So instead of the writer having to remember and apply rules manually, the system is doing it for them. So once you have a well-versed style guide and a template and input proper input knowledge, and it will just like create a first draft for you. Yep. So yeah, with that, I'll just like get into a live demo on how AD works. So just give me a moment. I'll just like shift to the portal. Yep. Yeah. Hope my screen is visible. Yeah. So this is the Document 360 portal. This is in our development environment now. So let me quickly show you. Just give me a moment. Let me open another environment. Just give me a moment. I'll just like connect. Yeah, it's back. Let me share my screen again. Yeah. So this is our Document 360 portal. So let's first see how a style guide looks like. Okay, so under AI features, we do have style guides. So these are the two default style guides which we provide. So the first one is a Microsoft style guide, and the other one is we do have this Document 360 style guide. So let's see what is mentioned in this particular style guide. So we can have a name for the style guide and also a description. So these are the items which is actually mentioned in the style guide. So it actually specifies about the grammar, what kind of grammar it should follow, and how the title case should be like for all the headings. So it should use the title case for all the headings. And it also talks about the abbreviation, the symbols, and it has a set of rules for the formatting as well. And yeah, it actually covers a lot of things like how your writing should be, whether you shorten sentences or split information into meaningful paragraphs, and how your table should be. Yeah, this is one of the interesting thing. So under the article management, you can also like specify how many tags you need, or whether you need a FAQ or not, and also like whether you need a SEO meta title and description. So once these things are provided in the style guide, we can just like get back to an article and we'll just try to create an article. Yeah. Yeah. So let me quickly create an article. Yeah. So let me create an article on decision tree. So it's a feature from Document 360. So here we do have all the articles regarding Document 360 as well. So I'll just like give it start writing with Eddie. So I'll write a quick prompt here. So write an article on Document 360s. Yeah, and here we do have an option to select whether we need the information both from internet and also the workspace. When I mean by the web, it actually follows the OpenAI's training cutoff date. And the next one is the workspace. If I need only the information from the workspace, I can also like select that. So once this is done, then maybe now Eddie will start crafting your article. It may takes few minutes because it has to understand the style guide, and also it has to fetch the information, and it will just like draft for you. So meanwhile, we'll just try to create another article. Okay, now let's try to create an how to article, right? So within video. Yep. Yeah, so these are the different options, so right, so you can give a prompt and specify a workspace, and also yeah, here you can give a style guide. So the default one is a Document 360 style guide, so I just like given that. And you can also pick a template, right? So let's say, okay, we'll just try with the same thing. So I have a how to guide, so I'll give the same prompt here with the template. So let's see how different it is. So write in article. Yeah, so I've just like selected a format or template for how to guide, and let's also try this out. And meanwhile, okay, I should change the title then. Okay, meanwhile also like try to like create an article from a video. So I'll just have it as a video, and let me try to create an article here. Yeah. So first option is you can give the prompt, and the next one is you can create an article from video, where you can just like upload from the drive or even from a computer. So I just like have a how to video uploaded. And if I need a screenshot, so yeah, so if I don't need a screenshot, I can still select on the template. So based on that template, it's going to like create an article for me. But if I need a screenshot, it will just like create an how to guide for me. So if it will just like go check each frames and see which frame is actually relevant to the step which is being like given, and it'll just like include it there. So let's try with this how to add this one with screenshot. Meanwhile, I'll just like show you the video as well. So this is the video I just like uploaded. So it's basically a tutorial video. Yeah, so it is actually, it will just like tell how to add a glossary, and how it's been like specified. It has like multiple clickable events here as well. So let's see how the article is being like generated. So, and yeah, before that generate, so let's also try something with the transcript. Yeah, so let me create another article with a transcript. So that's basically, yeah. So we have something called create article from media transcript or text file. So here you can upload any kind of MP3 or a TXT file or even a docs file. So currently I just like upload a transcript file. So we gave this feature demo to our developers here. So that is a recording, and that's a Teams recording, and I just like downloaded that transcript. So maybe let's try with this particular writing agent. We'll also like have a template here if needed. Okay, let's without, maybe without the template, let's try out how this actually creates. Yeah, so we just like uploaded four different videos, I mean four different type of articles. So let's just wait for a minute, or I've already generated an article which we can also like have a look at. Yeah, so here this is how your article will be like generated, since we specify like kind of 5 FAQs. It will also like provide with the 5 FAQs with document 360's decision tree features, intro, and all its benefits and examples, and all the other things which is all specified in the knowledge, and also in the style guide is being incorporated here. So let's say okay, we do have something called refiner. Let's say if you think this article, you wanted to make this article a little bit better, or you still have to make kind of an formatting to be done, we can just like simply specify. So let's say make the word dysentery bold. So I can just like make the you can try with any formatting, or if you want to like expand or make it longer, shorter, you can also like have a try on that as well. Yeah, so here the one which we generated, right? So it's been available here. It's been like generated now. So with the same creating, but it has a different format here with the creating a new interactive decision tree and adding media actions and other stuff. So let me quickly accept it. So once I accept it, let's also see how the SEOs are available, because we asked for the tags and the SEOs, right? Yeah. So you can also find a meta title being included, a description being included here, and also the tags. Yeah, so we also have like 3 different tags which was specified in the style guide, and it was also able to like incorporate it. So let's say if you think this first draft is okay, you can also like see that directly in your site and your here. Yeah, okay, my internet is bad, I guess. Yeah, so yeah, the other articles are also ready. Let's quickly go see how the other article looks like. So let's get into the next article. Of here we actually gave a template, right? Yeah, so we actually gave a template here on the how to guide template. So let's see the template as well, so to just like to see if it has created correctly. So this is the template which was given. So it should have an introduction, a section 1, 2, and also section 3 and 4. So this is the template which was provided for that particular article. And yeah, so we do have an introduction section. That's section 1 of overview, step-by-step instruction. And yeah, in step 3 we have benefits of using interactive decision tree, and step 4 is conclusion. And this FAQs we did specify in our style guide, which is being like picked up here, and we'll have us FAQs here. And here it should have also like generated all this SEOs, tags, and also the other parts as well, which was all specified in style guide. And let's get into the other part of video, how to, right? Yeah, perfect. So here I just like showed a video, right? So it actually created an how to article for that. It actually created the steps, and it actually added a new term. So let's say the step 2 is adding a new, click on new to add a new term, enter the term and its description. You can enhance the definition using formatting tools. So it was able to pick this particular screenshot, and it was able to like provide it here while adding a new term. And like for import glossary terms, it was able to like pick this particular screenshot, and it did add for import glossary terms. And for adding glossary terms to articles, it was also able to like pick the right one. So it was able to like pick most of the right images here. So we'll also like see, we'll just like accept it. Yeah, one important thing is like, let's say the images will be shown here in your portal, but unless you accept it, it's not going to like fall in your drive. So once you keep it, it will be there in your drive, and it will also like add the alt text, so which is also a kind of a benefit, right? So it will also like pick you the right images, and also add a alt text for that as well. So yeah, before that loads, let's see the next one. Yeah, this has been like done. So let's see how this alt text is added and stuff. Yeah, so you can just like see an alt text added for that particular screenshot showing the addition of a new glossary term. So for all the images, the alt text will be added. And this is your first draft. So maybe within 2 minutes, we got our first draft with the video uploaded with screenshots as well. And this is that Document360 decision tree with the proper tags, and we'll also like have the FAQs here. Yeah, Okay. Yeah. So the next one is with the transcript. Yeah. So this was the one which we sent for the writing agent demos transcript, right? So it was able to like pick the writing agent feature overview and the content generation process and the source selection and conclusion and all these things. So you can also like play around with all these additional, I mean, with the prompt, open prompt. So if you need a few more FAQs, or if you want to rewrite the entire article, that can be like done. If you want to like continue, if you're halfway through the article and if you just like wanted to continue, that can also be like done. And if you want to like regenerate the FAQs, everything can be like done for you with all these agents. And it also keeps the style guide in account as well. So these are the things can be done using writing agent and style guide. So yeah, that's it I have for the demo today. Yep. So the outcomes of this is like basically you will have less time to publish. So you don't have to spend more time on drafting your article, listening to Teams recordings or calls. So you can rather than that focus on increase your productivity by focusing more on reviewing the article and enhancing that particular article. And yeah, it will also like compliant with all the style guide, right? So all the instructions or the styles mentioned in your style guide, it will incorporate all the style guide, I mean the styles over there. And yeah, so these are the takeaways. So consistent AI content, have we can have a consistent AI content throughout, and we'll have a faster documentation flow and brand aligned output. And it's also like style driven automation as well. So with a style guide, you can have your first draft of the article within minutes using Eddie. Yeah, so that's it from my end. So I'm happy to take questions.
Yeah, thank you, Pavitra. The session was quite insightful, and I'm sure the audience will agree with me. And now, few of our attendees have shared their questions, and I'll read them across to you. So, there is a question from Jonathan. How frequently should a style guide be updated, especially in fast evolving industries like SaaS or AI?
So yeah, so mostly style guides will, yeah, it can be like updated yearly once. But let's say if you have a style, I mean a different product which comes in, and if you have a different business terms which you have included, or if you have changed any of the glossaries and stuff, so you can also like based on your business, or you can also like update your style guide quarterly once, or you can also like have different style guides, right, for each use case. Let's say if you need an how-to article, so you can have a style guide in that particular format. And if you need an article to be kind of quite long with FAQs, you can have a separate style guide for that as well. So style guides usually in the industry, they'll not change the style guides much. It will be like in a yearly basis or a quarterly basis, but according to the business needs, we can also like have a different style guides as well.
Thank you for answering, Pavitra. There is a question from your demo which you showed. Do you have a
Mhm.
separate doc written on the decision tree feature? I'm referring to your example in the demo.
Yeah, so okay, just get there. Actually, we do have a document here, so that's why we tried with decision tree with KB and also the internet. So it will also like pull in the information. Yeah, actually, we do have an article, I guess. So let me quickly have a check on that. Yeah, I don't. Okay, so this is a late. I mean, the older version of the article. But when it comes to decision tree, I'm not sure if it's available in this particular docs. But even if it's like, let's say, if you need to write something on your pricing, right? So you'll also like have information in different articles on different plans and the pricings. So when you just like write your content only with KB, so it will not make up, it will not hallucinate from the external information or from the web. It will just like pull in only the information from your documentation. It will just like write an article. And the other side, when you have this internet web, both web and KB, you can also pull in information from outside. So where it it can provide some information out of your knowledge base as well. But your question, I'm not sure if I have this decision tree here. I don't think we have it here. So this is actually the article which has been written. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have a check on that and just get back to you.
Okay, there's a question from Rashmi. She is asking, I don't see the option to add style guides in the UI.
Yeah, well, let me get that. Okay, so these are the two style guides. So let's say this is the default one, and these two style guides will be provided by us. And here you can create your own style guide. So you can just like have a name description. But here we do have a limit for now for 3,000 characters. So you can just like add your style guide here, and you can also use them to write your article. So you can just like create up to 10 style guides for now. Yeah, And to note, this is in our development environment, and this will be like for you in production by July 5th.
Nilmini is asking, may I know if it's possible to provide a link to a style guide that is already published online?
Yeah, sure. I'll just like share it. So we'll have this Microsoft. So maybe I'll just like share it, Shiva. So you can just like share it to the participants. But this is the style guide which actually most of the people use. So let me put that in the chat.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah,
sure, sure. I'll
so
share it.
this is a default style guide, but with the style guides, but creating our own style guide is also good. But it's a very actually most of the people actually get the style guides from the default one, like the Microsoft and the Googles, and they just like get the important content from for them for their product from that style guide, and just they can customize their own style guides as well. So currently, we have provided a Document 360 style guide which incorporates all this SEO and tax as well.
Okay, so there is a question from Shubham. For style guide Gen AI, if we have to check whether our content or document meet with standard guidelines such as MSTP or Chicago, should we have to add our comment in description column? Because generally we have to violate the rule to inline the technicality of the task or function of the app. In that case, what is the best way? Because Gen AI will check the document as per its algorithm and the document which we have provided.
Yep. So, okay, if I understand the question correctly, so if they mean that if they specify the description of the style guide, so will that be incorporated? Like let's say if we need a Microsoft style guide or the Google one, but that will not be included here. So if that is a one-liner which is being like given in a style guide, it will not go follow a Microsoft style guide unless you specifically like mention what are the styles you wanted in your style guide. I mean, in your articles, those can be like mentioned here. So which will be incorporated in all these things like in maybe in your blog or in your articles, that will be like followed. So if you mention something like you want to like follow Microsoft style guide, it will not for now, so it will just follow the rules which you have predefined here in your style guide.
Thank you, Pavitra. There is a question from Smita. Great feature. Can the style guide be changed at any point?
Yeah, the style guide can be changed. Yeah, so these style guides can also be like edited. So once if you create an style guide, it can also be like edited. And if you think you need a different style guide for different products or different articles, then you can just like create your own style guide as well. And the existing style guide can also be edited.
Cool. Yeah, just a minute. Okay, there is one more question from Smita. Will the old articles automatically update if the style guide is updated?
Yeah. So in the pipeline, we do have something called Style Guide Checker. It's a feature which we are currently developing on, which we might see it in the next few months. But currently, we don't have that possibility of editing, I mean, following the existing article for the style guide. So once the style guide checker is there in the place, so it will actually compare your article with the style guide, and it can also like suggest you for the improvements as well to change in your existing article. So that's there in our pipeline, and you can just like see that in a few months.
Thank you. There is a question from Jose. It's possible to mix type of contents on building content with AI like a video and some document to complement to generate one document.
Yep. So currently we don't have that, but it's a great one. So maybe we'll just like also have a check on that. Maybe that's a great idea. So we can give multiple videos and documents and to create a single article. Yeah. Currently we don't have that implemented, but we'll take that into account.
Thank you. There is a question from Rashmi. Can we test manually written content against the style guide?
Yeah, so as mentioned, so once the style guide checker is there, then yeah, you can do it. So you'll have a style guide in one hand and your article, and that can be like that will give you suggestions and also improve it. But once the style guide checker is there, then it's possible to do.
Thank you. There is a question from Tirumalai. How many style guides we can add? Is there a limit?
Currently, we do limit till 10 style guides. Based on the plan, it also like changes, but you can just like add up to 10 style guides.
Thank you. There's a question from Smita, like when will this feature be available?
Yeah, so it's by July 5th. So hopefully by July 5th it'll be in prod, and you guys can have a check on that.
Thank you, Pavitra. There is a question from Robert. I'm a SaaS space, so is it recommended to have different style guides for different content types like blogs, documentation, marketing?
Usually, the use of the style guide is it should actually maintain the same consistent behavior across even your blog or the article as well, right? So let's say if I have a particular word called as Document360, if it should have an all cap, all in uppercase. So that should be like specified in a style guide. So usually that's not a best practice, but you can have different style guides as well as mentioned. So if you need a different style guide for blob and a different one for your knowledge base, that can be specified. But your content structure, if you just like need your content structure to change, then you can just use the templates one. So based on one style guide, you can have multiple templates. So for your blog there will be a different template, and for your article there will be a different one.
Thank you for answering. And there is a question from Chris. Are there any Gen AI tools that can be fine-tuned with our brand style guide to improve content output?
Yeah, that's where our AD comes into play, right? So even with the AD, you can just like give your style guide, and it will just like help you to like write your articles just like how you requested in your style guide. That can be like incorporated.
Thank you, Pavitra. And that's a wrap for today's session. A huge thanks to Pavitra for walking us through the topic. I hope the insights shared tonight gave everyone a clearer understanding of how style guides are crucial for consistent brand presentation and how to effectively leverage Gen AI tools to achieve style guide compliance in content creation. To everyone who tuned in, thank you for taking the time to be here and for all your great questions and comments. We'll be sharing the session recording and slides soon, so keep an eye out for that. And of course, if you have more questions or want to learn more about Document 360, feel free to reach out. We'll be back soon with another session soon. See you next time. Thank you, everyone. Bye, Pavitra. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.